Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a calm, slow, resourceful breath. And as you exhale, just relax the muscles around your eyebrows, forehead and eyelids, feeling a sense of tension leaving your body in that outward breath. As you breathe in deeper than you did before. And as you exhale for longer. Noticing that the deeper you breathe in, the more resourceful you feel, and the longer you breathe out for, the more it feels like a release valve. Any built up pressure, tension, or stress is just being released. As you create an image in your mind of a pressure gauge, as you breathe in that resourceful feeling, feel that that is the catalyst to release. And maybe you see the gauge on red or amber, but as you breathe out, see the dial incrementally getting closer to that green zone of relaxation. Breathing in resourcefulness, exhaling tension. Each and every breath taking you to a place where change isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Scan your body for any clues of tension, perhaps in your jaw, neck, shoulders. Sometimes the clue is holding a facial expression that isn't needed. To feel a sense of rigidity in a muscle that doesn't need it. There's a time and a place for tension. When you're being active, when you're doing things, but right here, right now, it's not needed. So just imagine a bright, colorful helium balloon floating up on a string. And I wonder if you could imagine how your head would feel if it was as light as a helium balloon, needing no tension from your neck and shoulders, that your head just floats there effortlessly. So all the tension in the neck and the shoulders can just melt away. That's it. As you breathe in, breathe out, just imagine a spiral staircase going down. And maybe this spiral staircase is in a part of the world that you've never been to. Maybe a cabin in nature, or maybe a luxurious apartment in the center of Paris. But just imagine standing at the top of that spiral staircase looking down. And as I count from 10 to 1, use the power of your imagination to imagine slowly and safely walking down the spiral staircase. Each step taking you deeper and deeper down. And imagine that at the bottom of the spiral staircase represents the part of your subconscious mind where changes become natural. 10, taking that first step and just feeling a wave of relaxation. 9, another step down the staircase, feeling a lightness, almost like you're floating. 8, releasing any tension in the jaw, the neck. 8 becomes 7, and feel that relaxation spread. Every muscle in your face relaxes, and feel it spreading down into your arms. The 7 becomes 6, and your arms just feel loose and limp, like the limbs of a puppet with no strings. And then 5, just imagine your internal organs relax as you continue to walk down the spiral staircase. 5 becomes 4. Feel it going down into your gut. Any anxiety or tension in your gut just melts away. Like a child's ice cream on a beach on a sunny day, just melts away. 4 becomes 3, feeling that relaxation going down into your legs. Continue to walk down, deep down the spiral staircase. 3 becomes 2. Feel like you're getting to the bottom of the spiral staircase. And feeling that relaxation all the way down your legs to the tips of your toes and back up to the top of your head, all the way down to the tips of your fingers. 2 becomes 1, and just feel you're now at the bottom of the staircase. See a small corridor. And at the end of that corridor is a door. Walk through the door, see a large screen. Almost like a private cinema screen, just for you. And I want you to imagine a movie is playing. A movie of your life, where significant time is wasted, like it's sucked away from a parasite. I want you to observe you like you're seeing your life through the eyes of someone else. See the triggers and the times where you observe yourself getting sucked into the world of social media. That one quick check of a social media platform lures you in like a Venus flytrap, and before you know it, minutes have suddenly turned into even more time. I want you to see the platforms that suck more of that time away. And I want you to follow a timeline where, in this timeline, there is an average of 45 minutes to an hour per day just being extracted. And create an image in your mind of a parasitic worm there hiding in the gut. In any given day, the person with that parasite wouldn't even notice. But over time, that worm gets bigger and consumes more of the nutrients and energy that is meant for the host. That it has such power that it can change the mind of the host, so they desire more of the foods, not that they desire, but that the parasite desires. And I want you to get a sense that there is a worm inside you, not that craves nutrition and food and processed foods, but it craves the dopamine that only comes from wasted time on social media. And I want you to observe that timeline, that future. Because of that parasite, see yourself spending more time than is optimal on social media, and that time adds up. The weeks become months, the months become years, and I want you to see someone successful in their career, but with a lack of balance, not making the most of those weekends. And I want you to hear that version of you say that you just don't have the time. But as the observer, you know the time is there. It's just being extracted, second by second, minute by minute, by that hidden parasite. And maybe the parasite isn't in the gut, but in the brain. As you start to imagine that you've got X-ray vision and you can see a worm inside the brain craving more and more time on social media. But what it's taking is time. The kind of time that if you had that time, it would be spent on leisure and recreation, on fun and adventure, on nature, on real experiences, on the kind of thing that is good for your mind, your body, and your soul. I want you to see that this version of you, spending all this extra time on social media, is disappointing whatever entity you consider the universe or God to be. Imagine them looking down, almost with the expression of disappointment that in some way that this is just a waste. And I want you to extrapolate that out across years. Each year, that version of you is losing 17 working days of time. That it all adds up minute by minute. It's being taken. Time you'll never get back. 8 weekends. Almost a weekend each month just to do something special that's taken from you. And then take that to the last few years of your life. See yourself elderly. And they say that people regret not the things that they did that they wish they didn't do, but the things they didn't do that they wish they did. And imagine those 17 days per year, adding up year after year, that a decade would be 170 days. 2 decades would be over a year. A year of incredible experiences and moments. New things that you've learned, enjoyed, taken from you. But see yourself having that realization, perhaps in your 80s, 90s or beyond, realizing that social media stole years of fun and enjoyment and leisure and recreation. It stole it from you like a parasite stealing the nutrition of its host. And then step into that version of you in the last years of your life, coming to that realization that you could have and would have done so much more if you had the time. And coming to the conclusion that you did have the time. You just weren't discerning enough about how to spend it. And if it feels in this moment that you could use that time so much more wisely to enrich the quality of your life, let me know by nodding your head. So feel like you're rewinding everything from the future back to the present, all the way back. Feel like everything's happening in reverse. All that time spent on social media is happening backwards. And then imagine finding yourself in that same room, at the bottom of the spiral staircase, looking at that screen. Only this time, imagine being presented with a choice. You get to spend the rest of your life with 45 minutes to an hour of extra social media per day. Or you get 17 days a year or more, 8 weekends a day or more, extra, just to spend on fun and enjoyment and experiences and nature and things that enrich your soul, things that make the universe or God or whatever omnipotent entity out there proud of your choices, and feel like it's a choice, like a game show. Do you choose the extra time on social media each day? Or do you choose some of the most enriching experiences that it's possible to experience? Of course, there is a catch. To choose the experiences requires discernment and discipline in the early stages, boundaries. But the reward is some of the most enriching experiences possible. And imagine this entity, call it the universe, is willing to extract the parasite from within you if you choose to live life rather than have life drained minute by minute from you. I want you to think of all of the best decisions that you've made in your life and feel like this could be one of them. To be more discerning with your time, to give yourself the optimal amount of time that gives you the highest return on that investment, and be discerning with the left. Perhaps you do that with food. Perhaps you do that with quality of friendships or relationships. You could spend all day eating junk food and yet you don't. You choose quality over quantity, and you choose to be discerning with what you eat. So imagine that all this is being discerning with your time. That seeing excess time on social media as the kind of wriggling parasite in your gut or brain that is stealing precious memories that you'll never experience without that discernment. And if you're ready to make that decision, let me know by nodding your head. And then observe as you see on screen a new timeline. See yourself starting from tomorrow, spending 15 minutes perhaps at breakfast, prioritizing the most productive time you can spend on social media, perhaps engaging with those most loyal followers, perhaps publishing the kind of content that builds a following, perhaps responding to direct messages, and then see that you approach that 15 minutes in the morning and see an empowered, decisive boundary being enforced. Enough is enough. And you put it away. And see that sense of pride, that sense of feeling in control, that just one boundary, backed by discernment and discipline, is buying you time, some of the most precious time you'll experience. See yourself resisting the temptation to just check, and see yourself using time that would have been spent on social media doing productive things, perhaps reading, learning something, enriching your experiences, your intelligence, all those kind of things that will give you something back again and again. See yourself doing the kind of things that make the universe proud or belly laugh. And it makes you feel good to see yourself being discerning with your time. You give it some time, but not all the time. And in most areas of your life, you found the Goldilocks sweet spot You brush your teeth for just long enough to make sure they're clean. But it would be ridiculous to brush your teeth for hours on end, because you would know that after the first minute or two, you're not adding any value to your mouth or teeth. In fact, you could be damaging your gums. Intuitively, you know there is just the right amount of time to give you value before it takes value. So feel like that you are unlocking that intuition, the Goldilocks sweet spot, to give you all the value from social media before you get those diminishing returns, before it becomes the parasite that steals your precious time. And then see yourself perhaps around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe eating a salad while spending 15 minutes more on social media, or perhaps doing some light exercise. See yourself giving it that time and then putting your phone away. The boundaries are giving all of the value and taking none of your time. And imagine that the first few days are establishing habits and boundaries. And see yourself perhaps 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks in the future finding that balance. That a lot of these habits have become automatic. That you have certain systems in place, perhaps screen time alerts that let you know if you're going over the optimal time. And if you can see that version of you with the balance that you would like to have, and then you can see that version of you enjoying that extra recreation and leisure time, see yourself hiking, paddleboarding, spending time in nature, hiking up mountains, visiting new countries and new cities. And if that feels like a more desirable future, the kind of future that you will look back at the end of your life with a sense of satisfaction and pride that you lived life and you made the most of your time. If it feels like this is the timeline that will do that, let me know by nodding your head. And then step into that screen. Feel you're no longer observing, but you're experiencing life without that social media parasite. That you can give that 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the afternoon, and that is enough. That any more would be detrimental, that any more would be stealing your time. And if someone offered you a choice, 45 minutes a day extra on social media, or 17 days of vacations and experiences and holidays and time in nature, would you ever really choose the 45 minutes extra per day and feel like that is the choice? And most people are making the choice without realizing they're making the choice. But as is the case with most things, when you know better, you do better. And if you feel that now you know better, you will do better because it makes sense for you, let me know by nodding your head. And then imagine, day by day, that is your experience. Feel the temptations, but feel that your boundaries supersede the temptations. Feel a sense of pride at being discerning. Feel a sense of pride that you're making the universe proud of your choices. And then imagine doing something on a weekend that you would have never done before because you felt like you didn't have the time. Maybe in a new country, maybe in a place you've never been before, but feel like you've earned this time. It's guilt-free because you've bought it by being discerning and having sensible boundaries. You get to enjoy the time more because you've earned the time. And imagine that this can be replicated in so many ways, because the more discerning you are, the more discerning you will want to be. And then imagine going back to looking at that screen, seeing the contrast of these two different timelines, the version of you with the parasite stealing your time and taking away your experiences, and another timeline where you live a better quality of life simply by being more discerning, clear boundaries, and seeing social media for what it really is: beneficial in small amounts and destructive in large amounts. Food is essential in small amounts, but destructive to be gluttonous or greedy with food. Feel that social media is no different. And with that realization, feel it's time to leave that room, walk back down the corridor, and start walking up a spiral staircase. And as you walk up, feel that you're becoming more alert, but taking all of these changes with you. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect fully with the present moment. As I count from 1 to 10, you will imagine walking completely all the way up the spiral staircase and being back in the present moment, but feeling like you have a new perspective and a desire to live life on your terms in a discerning way. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.